this is essentially Joe Biden is addressing the country in this letter while he's still recovering from COVID. And he says basically, right here is probably the biggest part of this statement. It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president.
That
And
literally
while
happened
it
with
has
me and my
been my intention to seek reelection, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. I will speak to the nation later this week in more detail about my decision. So, and then he expresses gratitude for his VP and America and the hope that he has for the future of America and all that stuff. And signs the bottom. This is huge. I don't know if I don't have we ever had a situation like this where we had like a like a nominee like this like just back out like last minute.
No, Obama recently put out a statement that we're in uncharted territory.
What is y'all reaction?
Well,
Um,
before we get into reactions, right?
right.
Uh, I think Friday was it or Thursday or Friday? His his campaign was saying that he wasn't out, right? Like I feel like they were doing interviews. His campaign manager.
Yes, that he's still in the race. Yeah, yeah. They had all that still going. Friday, there was reports that he was still talking to groups of Democrats, and he
But
was still on phones with them and stuff.
I say that to say there were also reports that he was gonna leave on Sunday.
Yes. Yeah.
So it looks like a lot of our insider reporting maybe have been accurate. And I only want to say that to say I want to say before we get to any conversations that there has been internal chatter that Biden did not want to drop out, not because he was Irish and prideful, but because people wanted to step over Kamala. And he did not want to leave the race without knowing that the whole Democratic Party was going to throw their weight behind Kamala Harris.
Really?
Yeah, and if that's true, shout out to Joe Biden.
Yo, that he's that
Honestly, I'm sorry
much
for everything I've
respect
said,
then.
and it looks like that's the case because look, Nancy Pelosi still hasn't said anything, except that there's been leaks from inside her camp that they want to open
Yeah.
convention.
Yeah, they want to it seems like
Obama's
she wants
been
an open primary.
yeah, Obama's been vague. He said well, whoever the nominee is, right?
Yeah.
But not the Clintons, not Joe Biden, not Elizabeth Warren,
Yeah.
not the senators out of Virginia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A few people have already endorsed Kamala Harris, and I'm actually I believe it. And if you have that video that you shared in the group chat that we have of Roland Martin, I would like to play that at some point today.
Yeah, I
'Cause
have it.
I
I have it
believe
set
it.
up.
I believe it. And I just want to say that if that is the case, this letter right here is sad, and I'm sorry to see him go, but his perception it just wasn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to win.
He couldn't
But
recover.
hold on, to make sure that your VP is the nominee. Hats off, bro. For real. Honestly,
Yeah.
hats off to you. I honestly thought he was just being prideful and whatever. But I did, early. I've been keeping up with this. Early this week, Joe Manchin, right, independent former Democrat, but independent Senator Joe Manchin, he was like, "Yeah, we want to open primary. Open primary would be the best." Open primary is what they've been saying, right? They just want to this behind the closed doors, quick open primary. That's changing now. After Biden stepped down, more people are like, no, we want Kamala. She could get the
Yeah.
money. She has the name recognition. And we'll get into this later, but I sincerely believe she's the right person for the job. What I want to talk about in this moment, though, is my initial reaction to Joe Biden stepping down is if the only reason it took this long, because I was critical of him.
Yeah, same.
But taking long. If the reason you took this long is because you wanted to ensure that you could do and negotiate everything in your power so that Kamala Harris could be next up, then I salute you and shame on the Democratic Party for trying to step over her. And there's been reportings, and this is why I kind of believe it. There's been reportings. As of today, things could change. But as of today, there's been reportings that Gretchen, that Gavin, that all the people that you think would have stepped over her are deciding to fall back. Again, I want to reiterate, kudos to Joe Biden. That's loyalty, that's gangster, whether you like Kamala or not. Riding with the home team is, for me personally, riding with the people that you came into the game with is always going to be respectable.
And it also shows, because I feel like in the beginning of his campaign, when he was running for president, in the debate or like a speech or something like that, he said that he changed. Like, he said he admits that what he did in the past towards black people were not a good thing, and Obama, running the country with Obama helped them see a different perspective on race and different things like that. Like, I remember him saying different things like that or alluding to those things in his campaign. And I always didn't believe that either. But if what Cano has like the stuff that he's been looking at has been true, I'm very encouraged by that. And it shows that he really is, that people can change and people can make a 180. You know what I mean?
To piggyback off Martin, I don't know if we're going to cover it today, but Van Jones today, he had a little segment on CNN where he was very emotional. He compared this moment to having to take the keys away from your grandparents. And what I learned in this segment is something I didn't know. I know Van Jones from the Obama administration, but maybe I didn't know enough, but I found out today, and he said it, I wasn't hired by Obama. I was hired by Joe Biden. Joe Biden brought me on. Joe Biden was the person that brought me into the administration. So Van Jones feels he wouldn't be where he is today if it wasn't for Joe Biden. So to piggyback off Martin, maybe he has learned, maybe he has changed even as far back as when he was VP. And it makes so much sense now why Van Jones is riding for him. I didn't know that information before, and I was a little frustrated with Biden and with Van Jones. But now knowing that, it makes all the sense of the world. And if that's
actually, I'm not. Honestly, I feel like a lot of things have come out about what Joe Biden has done. Like a lot, certain, like even Bernie, when he stepped down, he said, "I respect Joe Biden when he was on the line with the workers as well. Like, he cares about the jobs for the middle America that you was talking about, Joe. Like, they were on strike, and he was walking with them, and I didn't even know he was walking with them. And I feel like that speaks to things that Obama did. Like when they had the school shooting, how Obama came to the school and shook hands and took care and like try to comfort the people that was going through the loss. And I feel like Joe Biden learned a lot. And I feel like maybe that's why he felt so prideful. Like, I need to run this country because I don't think Trump has that kind of empathy.
It's tough to be that person and be able to do these things in your career, and then like age just catch up to you so quick, because it happens like that, right? Like one day you're good, and then like in a year, especially in the late 70s, 80s, your cognitive ability could deteriorate in a year or in two exponentially. I feel like if we had a younger Biden, then this wouldn't have been a situation. Unfortunately, we saw too many bloopers, too many gaffes.
My initial reaction to this was, wow, I can't believe that leak we heard was actually right, that it is happening on Sunday. I got to imagine that Biden stepping down, it's got to be like, he's got to be crying tonight. In all seriousness, in all honesty, I don't want to sweep under the rug the amount of things that I feel like him and his administration does have to be held accountable for.
What do they have to be held accountable for? I'm sorry, I know this is part of the segment, but what
No.
do they? I feel like once this is over and once history is looking back at this and we realize that the Trump circus was in town, that is okay. That is fair. That is fair.
Israel
But
is a
but
huge
to be fair,
Israel is the main thing that comes to my mind.
Fair, that is a nonpartisan issue. Whether you had a Republican or a Democrat in that office, they still would have been pro-Zionist. Just because of the strategic nature of the U.S.'s and Israel's relationship. I will say the rest of it, though, I think when we look back on it, historically, you'll see that the Trump circus was in town. And while Biden's administration wasn't perfect, it wasn't the best administration of all time. It was good. It was good. It was effective, and it was a post-pandemic recovery administration.
In my other video, that's the thing I said. I do agree that I think that Biden's administration was beneficial. It was helpful. It pushed us in the right direction.
Not perfect. We have issues in this country. First of all, we're split down the middle between parties. And then when you get past that, we're split through so many other demographics. To please everybody 100% is just going to be impossible.
Yeah, no, it is. Between the Israel thing, I think that Biden could have done better because we literally witnessed a genocide. That's my personal opinion on that. Two, I do think that his administration was covering up the fact that his health was deteriorating. And I don't know what would have been the better option there.
And if we end up losing the election, the Democrats, that will be probably the biggest factor is that they try to hide for so long.
That and blocking an open primary. Those are two of the biggest mistakes that you made. I think this is incredible. This is history, y'all. We are literally living through history.
Wait, before you get here.
Yeah.
So we all agree that we wanted, the three of us, we wanted Biden to step out this race?
I'll speak for myself that I don't know what that really meant. And I just didn't say anything. So I don't know. But
okay,
I will say that my reaction to him dropping out, I'm not surprised. In the last video, I said he had COVID. And also he looked like, and it was funny. But I was like, if a Cole did that to him in a debate, just imagine what COVID's doing. COVID is kicking his butt right now. What really like made me was like, wow, this is wild, was the fact that people were endorsing Kamala Harris. This is a black woman, you know what I'm saying? We managed to get a black guy in office, a black woman, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of wild to me. That will that really happen?
Wait, before that really happen? Endorsements. Can you pull up Charleston White just because of what Martin just said, please?
You want to switch to that right now?
Yeah, and then we'll go to the endorsements.